7 or 8 months ago, I decided to dig through all my cupboards, empty out every box, nook and cranny, and pull out all of my shame. My pile of shame was laid bare across the table in the old studio for you all to witness. Today, we're going to look at something a little bit different. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Shane from the Hobby Homies podcast. Today, we are going to be looking at my pile of pride? I don't know, this is kind of like a counter to the pile of shame video that we did recently. So what you have here in front of me is everything I have ever painted that I still own. I've painted miniatures for our Patreons, I've painted miniatures for friends, and I've painted miniatures to sell. Not to sell, that have been sold rather. So this here is what is mine. This is my armies, different armies that I have, different groups of models for different game systems. To be honest, when I was thinking about this idea, it came from, like I said, a counter to the pile of shame video, which was suggested by one of our homies. It came as an idea, and I thought, well, I'm not going to have a lot of stuff, right? I'm not even going to fill half of this table, let alone the majority of it. We'll just go through it and have a look, and yeah, you guys let me know in the comments what you reckon about some stuff. This should be pretty exciting. We'll start from one side to the other. I've got some Tau Pathfinders and Breaches with some drones and a stealth suit that started off as a kill team. Behind them, we've got some Dark AdMech, which are AdMech with their purity seals removed and painted black, so they're Chaos AdMech. Coming up behind them is a group of Bloodletters. I've got some Hormagaunts, Tyranids. My Necron army, so I have a significant amount of Necrons. Most of it is barely considered tabletop, which is why it's not here. On the table here, we've got 20 Warriors, 5 Lich Guard, 15 Immortals, some Wraiths, some Destroyers, and some characters as well. And a kit-bashed flayed one that I sort of just started putting together a few years ago with some Wraith spare parts. In front of those, we've got a whole bunch of fantasy models like skeletons and zombies and giant spiders and rats and dogs and stuff like that, which are intended for games like Rangers of Shadow Deep, Five Leagues from the Borderlands, and you know, a few like that. A few other characters sprinkled out like Tamsin from our Parsecs campaign, and of course Darwin as well. Some Genestealer cults that I painted up for the Geelong Town Open, the GTO, a couple of years ago now. There's not quite 2,000 points here because I didn't get enough of it done, but there's a solid army here. We've got, like, you know, from Lima Russes, some Sentinels, and stuff like that. My Blood Angels, which is more of an elite force at the moment. It's basically a couple of Dreadnoughts and some troops, and a lot of characters, heaps of characters. Got some Gaslands, some Test of Honor, very, very little Test of Honor at the front there, 1 unit in fact, and then a few other random characters as well, and my Stormcast army, which is something I'm actually really proud of because it's one of the first, I'd say, full armies I'd had completed. It's basically a combination of the Soul Wars box and the first one that I can't remember what they're called, back in 2016 when that came out. A bunch of Silver Hammer boys, and a few spellcasters as well, and some ranged guys. So, behind them, the Nighthaunt, some very, very old Seraphon that I did way, way back in the day. A bunch of Silver Tower miniatures and Warhammer Underworlds, sprinkled throughout over this side here. Some 15mm Flames of War at the front, some Germans, some infantry there, and tiny little bit of Death Guard at the back here. So it's a very broad mix. Most of it's Games Workshop stuff, to be honest. But as far as armies goes, I guess I sort of struggle to stick to one particular project, and I tend to hop between different systems and different, armies. Lately, I've been building a lot of Blood Angels, but have not really enjoyed painting Blood Angels. So we'll see what happens there. Basically, just my pride here for all to see. Yeah, it was actually really satisfying to see it like this. You know, I honestly thought that I wasn't going to have a whole lot to show, but there's more here than I expected. You know, it's like 2.5 Detolf IKEA cabinets worth, but we know to get rid of those nowadays. But yeah, so yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this. We'll sprinkle in some glamour shots and some close-ups over some sweet churchy tunes, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And if you haven't already, check out hobbyhomies.com. Links to all the stuff up there. We've got merch, we've got a Patreon. Without our Patrons, this kind of stuff wouldn't be happening. We wouldn't be in this new studio with all this fancy green screen technology, and we wouldn't have Churchy editing everything up for us as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Hooroo.